What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of my free-to-play account. Today there has been a new addition to the Gear Hub, which is the quantum guns. All 5 of them are now available for in-game currency, so let's go check these out and test them out and see if they're actually worth it. So here's the Quantum 6, it's for credits. So is the Quantum 8 and Quantum 10, and the 12 and 16, the heavy version, they're both for 8 coins. But today I'm going to be using the Quantum Gun 8, so let's go ahead and purchase it. Alright, and here's the build I'm going to use. Quantum guns with a max Archangel on Stalker so we can get that damage boost. Let's use these in a battle and see how they can do. Alright guys, we're here in a 1v1, and we are on a sniper map, so we should be able to do pretty well with these because the quantum guns are sniper. So yeah, let's talk about how the quantum guns work exactly. So the quantum guns are a semi-auto sniper rather than a traditional sniper, which means that they have more shots in the magazine. You can see I actually have 24 shots in the magazine. I shoot 2 at a time, so it's effectively 12, but that's a lot more than the 5 of the long arm or the 3 1/3 of the railgun or even the 1 of the EM rifle, which are some of the other snipers in the game. So these have a more suppressive feel to them. They can fire in an area for longer and kind of slow down enemies in that area if they don't want to get hit. They probably don't want to walk into the crossfire. As you can see, I'm just firing at this guy for a long time. But as you can see, the damage of these weapons is not very high at all. Even though I have a maxed out legendary pilot, I don't have a damage implant, but I do have a maxed out legendary pilot. I'm still dealing only 3.8k, 5.7k damage, as you can see, which is really low compared to something like the EM rifles I have on this account, which can do up to like 150k when I hit a double damage shot. Obviously, that's a 16 energy weapon, but the damage is not proportional. The damage of these weapons is way lower, which is one of the biggest problems this weapon has, one of the biggest struggles it has. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but the main perk of this weapon is that when you fire at enemies, you actually apply both thermal and stasis to them. You can see this guy has both of those two negative status effects. Thermal increases the damage dealt, and stasis slows down the mech. Now, he's lost them here, but one problem with these two effects is that it takes a really long time for them to get applied. You can see it takes about like half of my magazine nearly to apply those effects. So they are helpful, and they can help both you and your teammates, but they do take a long time to apply, so the enemy does have to walk out in the open for you to get several shots and for it to build up. There are implants to reduce the build-up time, but those are hard to get, and only the legendary ones will perfect it. So you can actually do it in one shot, but again, you're not going to realistically be getting that, especially not in early game or anything. So don't expect to have those. This guy has them too. He's trying them out as well. Very nice. But yeah, so the suppressive ability of these weapons, both with the more suppressive semi-auto I guess function of the weapon and the 2 status effects there, it works really well if you want to have a support weapon. Here we go, we're getting hit very hard, but I managed to survive. Nice. It almost took me out. As you can see, I now have stasis and overheat on me, but those 2 effects, as combined with the power of the just the the suppressive nature of the weapon being a semi-auto, means that these are like probably the best support type weapon in the game. But sadly, that role just isn't really relevant in Mech Arena right now. It never has been. There's no support mechs or support weapons that have ever worked that great. And you can see here, I've done 600,000 damage, which isn't bad, but the enemy players have been able to do 900,000. So again, the damage of these weapons is definitely lacking and probably its weakest feature. Another feature of it, though, is that it does have a double damage chance. If you guys unlock it like I just did in the Gear Hub, it's going to be at rank 4. And that means it's going to have a 30% double damage chance, so decent. Again, a lot of snipers have that feature as well, so it's nothing super unique, but it is something to factor in. You can deal a lot of damage when you hit those double damage shots, but again, that's just luck, and it can't be, it's not a skilled mechanic. We're probably going to go down here, but yeah, that's basically how the weapon works. So its biggest problem is definitely the damage. Obviously, I've been able to do pretty well here. 7 kills, not bad, but we're obviously going to lose this match here because I wasn't able to push. You can't take ground with this weapon, and overall, we still lost way more mechs than the enemy. Okay, guys, we're on Paradise Plaza up against 1 player. So yeah, let's talk about the actual Gear Hub release itself. Are these weapons worth buying from the Gear Hub now that they've been released? So let's talk about pricing. The 12 and 16, Quantum Gun 12 and 16 are both in the Gear Hub for A coins now. So they're there for several thousand A coins each, as usual for an epic weapon, coming in at 4 stars. And overall, this weapon is not that great. So it's definitely not worth spending your hard-earned A coins on this weapon. So never buy the Quantum Gun 12 or 16 from the Gear Hub, it's definitely not worth it unless you want it just for fun. But if you want to be practical and have a strong hanger, which is the goal of this video and the series, just showing you guys what weapons and mechs are worth it, don't purchase these two. So what about the other three? The 6, 8, and 10 are all for credits, which is pretty interesting actually. Hopefully we'll be getting a lot other legendary and epic weapons in the Gear Hub for credits, so we can actually, you know, purchase them without having to pay an arm and a leg like a lot of weapons are. Hopefully Stormrack and Revoker, right? But you know, these weapons are going to be helpful at the very least for progressing in tiers, which is definitely a worthwhile cause. Any credit weapon, any weapon that costs credits in the Gear Hub is probably worth buying if you can skip one that costs 8 coins instead to progress through your Gear Hub tiers. So if you need to buy Quantum Gun to progress through the Gear Hub tiers, then yeah, it's probably a good option to go ahead and do it. But what about for actually using on your mechs? I would say that the 10 probably isn't going to be worth it, since you only get one copy of the 10 when you unlock it, and one copy of this weapon is going to do even worse than the dual I have here. These are dual 8s. A single 10 is going to be significantly worse and apply the effect at half the speed, since there's only one weapon and I have 2. So it basically will never apply the effects fully, especially the overheat. The stasis works slowly over time, but thermal has to be applied fully. But yeah, I think that the 6 and 8, since you get those dual copies of each of those weapons, it's possibly worth running them, especially if you just unlock the tiers and you have some mechs that need some good weapons. But, you know, I would say the Quantum Gun doesn't function like an epic weapon. It functions more like a rare or even a uncommon. So it's possibly not something that you need to pick up, but it partially just depends on your hanger. If you want a sniper, these don't really feel like a sniper weapon at the end of the day, because of the fact that they don't work great from any range. The damage is just so low that the range they have isn't that helpful. I mean, you can see this guy's nade launcher and cryo launcher, which are like 3 times more damage than these weapons or more. They're still working at the range I'm at. And again, I'm being out damaged by basically everyone in this lobby, because the weapons, they still have a pretty long reload and they just don't do enough damage to, you know, justify using them for the status effects or anything. There's just no real reason to use these weapons. But if you just unlock them, potentially it could be worth it. But most likely not. Most likely I would only purchase these if you need them to progress up your Gear Hub tiers. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed and you want to see more of the free-to-play account. I know it's been a long time since I have posted a video of the free-to-play account, and I do have another one planned coming hopefully soon. Of course, we'll see, but hopefully it'll be out within a couple weeks. We'll see how it goes though. But also, if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe, and you can actually now become a channel member if you really want to help support the channel, and you unlock exclusive perks with that. That'll, you know, unlock new videos and other cool things. So if you want to check those out, you can. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.